Hi, my dear students. Good morning to all of you. So, in the last session, we have explained and you have learnt a beautiful poem, My Mother. Right? Yes. I hope you all during the night time before going to bed, I think at least once you think or at least once you thought about the situations which demand to remember your mother. Right? Does any one of you do like that or not? Yes, you have done it. I know it, you have done it. So, you can have some practice or you can make them on paper. The situations which demands you, the situations which demand you to remember your mother. That is a practice for you to develop your writing skill. It's an assignment you feel yourselves and can make on your own. While writing it, you should not take any source. You should not depend on any source. That means workbooks, guides, materials or your elders. Don't take the help of others. Just you keep on the paper what you know only. Whether it may be right or wrong, the construction may be right or wrong, it's immaterial. You have to practice like that. At the end of this poem also, I give that type of an assignment to you, which makes you practice well and to improve your skill of writing and improve the skill of thinking and also to improve the skill of keeping your expressions, keeping your feelings in an order, in a beautiful way. That means, my dear students, after listening these poems, you too become a poet. You too become a poet. You too become a writer. You too can become a person or a student who can write on its own. You may say proudly, yes, I can write on my own. I don't need any type of workbooks, guides or materials. I can write. Now I have the confidence. You have to feel like so. Right? So, you practice that previous poem and now listen this poem. Often waits what I give you, anxiously await, eagerly waiting for me till I come to you. Right. Let us enter this new poem. Come. Shall I take you into the world of my poetry? Shall I take you into the world of my poetry? Yeah, actually all poems, when compared to prose, poetry is very simple and very short poems. Most of them are very short, but they give depth in meaning. Their depth in meaning, the superficial line seems to be one thing, but the underlying spirit of that line is totally different what we see superficially. See, watch this poem, for example. It is just a poem of three stanzas. It's a matter of 10 minutes. It's a matter of, if we take more, 15 minutes, enough. We can get the point of that poem. But you feel very difficulty. You feel very difficulty if read on your own this poem, not through the teacher. It's very difficulty, because to catch that sense is crucial. You are not wise enough, or you are not having enough knowledge to understand the underlying spirit of the poems, or understand the underlying spirit of those lines. That's why, my dear students, I am saying, if you listen carefully, if you listen attentively, it should not be a hard nut to crack. It should not be a hard nut to crack. See here, I have told a beautiful idiom, a hard nut to crack. Hard nut to crack means very difficult task. Very difficult task. Understanding poetry is not an uphill task. Again, I am using a beautiful idiom, uphill task. What the expression of uphill task mean? The same, very difficulty. So, when you follow the lesson through the teacher, when you are attentive while the teacher explaining you, understanding or getting the message or the content of that particular subject, particular lesson, might not be a hard nut to crack, might not be a difficult task, an uphill task, right? Okay, so I have told much to you, because to make your minds, to draw your attention towards poetry, and to introduce you some different phrases, some different idioms. I make that long speech before entering the poem. Nice. Now we watch the title. What's it? The Garden. Sir, the title is nice. The Garden within. Title is very nice, sir. We know very well garden we have understand, sir. So many gardens we have seen, so there is no problem with the word garden. Within, what this within, sir? Just you adding within, we feel difficult to understand the meaning of the title. Right? Yes, you are right. The garden within, within means in us. Actually, where are the gardens? Where do you watch gardens? Gardens are on the earth. But what the poet says here, the garden within. A garden is in me, he is saying, but not on the earth. What is garden? Garden means a beautiful plants, a beautiful trees, some beautiful flowers, where nature is bounty, which gives pleasure to us, which makes our heart bliss, which makes our heart cherish, which makes our heart joyful. Right or not? Why do you go gardens? Why do you visit gardens? Just to relax yourselves, to entertain yourselves, to make or to spend your time happily, to make your time beautifully. That's why we visited gardens. Now, my dear students, can you tell some of the names of the gardens? The most famous garden, several gardens are there. One garden we know, which is very, very famous, that is Vrindavan Gardens in Mysore. Vrindavan Gardens. Has any one of you visited that garden? Anyone? Has anyone visited that garden? No? Okay. When you have free time or next summer, you try to visit that garden. It is watch-worthy, worth watching. It's worth watching. Everyone should visit that garden at least once. Yeah. So many. Yes, right. Your favorite plants are there. Beautiful rose plants. Different colors of rose plants are there. All colors, I think, which are available in the world, or you can see there. Right. The garden within. What is this? What is the content of this poem? What does the poet say in the poem? The garden within. Yes, what is it? There is a beautiful garden. There is a beautiful garden. There was a beautiful garden. Where? In me. What is the significance of garden here? There is a beautiful garden in my heart. That means here human heart is compared to garden. Here the human heart is compared to garden. There is a garden in my heart, where beauty grows, There is a beautiful garden in my heart where beauty grows in fits and starts. See, one beautiful expression, fits and starts. Fits and starts. Fits and starts. Fits and starts means irregular. Irregular. What the poet says? There is a beautiful garden in my heart. Where is the garden? My heart. There is a beautiful garden in my heart where beauty grows in fits and starts. That means not regularly, at irregular ways. What the poet want to express to us here is, the poet compares our heart to a garden. What is in the garden? In the garden, beautiful plants are there, beautiful trees are there, nature is bounty. Whoever comes and sits in the garden, their heart becomes light. They forgot all their sorrows, they forgot all their anxieties. That means beauty is there in the garden. Beauty is there in the garden. In the garden of our heart also be beautiful. In our heart also there should be beauty. What is beauty here? Beauty means here good thoughts, pious thoughts, holy thoughts, to make others feel happy thoughts, not to suffer the others, not to suffer the others. So that's why the poet is telling, there is a garden in my heart, there is a garden in my heart where beauty grows. So actually, where does beauty grow? Beauty grows in the heart. Beauty grows in the garden. What is garden here? Our heart is the garden. So, in our heart, that means in the heart of our garden, beauty should grow. Beauty should grow means some pious thoughts should grow, some holy thoughts should grow, some good thoughts should grow. That means our hearts should be pure. Our heart should be honest. Our hearts should be flawless. Our hearts should be innocent. Our heart should be not guilty. Our heart should be blameless. Our heart should be pure. That is the feeling of the poet. So, those feelings are exposed in this way. What's there? There is a garden in my heart. There is a garden in my heart where beauty grows in fits and starts. So, what the poet says, fits and starts means irregularly beauty is growing. Actually, if we take man always not be innocent, always not be blameless, always not be honest, always not be truthful. Sometimes he tells lies, sometimes he found guilty, sometimes he is blameworthy, but we always should be honest. The poet expresses it. not like beauty grows at a regular intervals or irregular. Not the beauty should not be irregular, it should be regular. The poet is telling like that. Very good. He is also telling the smiles or petals. He is telling the smiles or petals from the flowers. Actually, petals means, every flower has some petals. Those petals come from flowers. These are like the smiles of human beings. So, the petals of the flowers are compared to the smiles of human beings. The smiles of human beings. Smiles or petals from the flowers bestowed by others from the birds. See how beautifully he said. Smiles or the petals from the flowers. So how do that petals we get? From the flowers only we get. So a man also sends out some smiles. Man also sends out some smiles. These smiles are compared to those petals which are from flowers. Bestowed by others. Bestowed by others. From the birds. Birds means the shady places of trees. So when we sit in the shady places of trees, how do we feel? We feel very happy. We relax there. In the same way, the other people also relax at the ideas of our own, at the thoughts of our own, at the feelings of our own, at the thinking of our own, or at our thinkings. How people get relaxed and enjoys the cool shade of the trees, like the other people also should enjoy the thoughts of others. That means the others' thoughts should always be useful or should always make others happy. That means the thoughts should be constructive, but not to be destructive. The thoughts should be constructive, but not should be destructive. When every people, every man, everyone resort to those type of thinking or thoughts, the entire world should be happy. The entire world should be happy world. Then this earth has become the heaven. A heaven on earth, this world will become a heaven on the earth. So that he says, smiles or petals. That means some smiles are grown in my heart. Those are the petals of flowers. These smiles are from the good thoughts. These smiles are from the good thoughts. When we have some good ideas, good thinking, then smile occurs. Smile lighted on our lips. Unlighted, automatically we send out a smile on our lips. Is it right or not? If you, for example, in case of students, if we declare tomorrow is a holiday, immediately a smile passes through on the lips of all of you. Okay sir. The syllabus is reduced this year for you. Immediately smile passes through all your lips. That means this thought is liked to you, is liked by you. You like this thought, that's why you send out a smile. Like that, when man grows pious thoughts, holy thoughts, good thoughts in the heart of his garden, automatically smiles come, not only on his own lips, but also the lips of all. That's why what does the poet says? Smiles or petals from flowers bestowed by others, from the birds. Again, I will achieve my goal. The poet says, I will achieve my goal by touching the island. That means we have to set a goal and we have to achieve our goal. In what way we have to achieve our goal? From the right path. That means following the right way we have to achieve our goal. Every person has some goal. Every person has some dreams. Every person has some assumptions. No problem. You may try to fulfill them. You may try to achieve them. But those should not be achieved by hook or crook, by fair means or foul means. So here I have beautifully quoted two idioms. One is by hook or crook. Second one is by fair means or foul means. Both are same. Both the idioms give the same meaning. Hook or crook means in any way, by that means by doing right way or wrong way, or deceiving others in any way we have to get. Fair means or foul means also the same. That means by taking the right path or by taking the wrong path. But we should not be like that. We should achieve all our achievements through the right path only, by taking the right path only. So I already told, for example, one of you have a desire or a dream to have a car. How do you get that car, or how do you fulfill your desire? How do you achieve your goal? You have to work hard. You have to get good marks. You have to get good employment. You have to get a handsome salary. Afterwards you buy it, no problem. No one objects you, because that is the right way, right path. But someone is there to achieve it, to fulfill his dream or his goal, simply he steals it from some other, and he to achieve his goal. But is it right? Is it justified? Does anybody agree? No, it's wrong on his part. In this way, in our heart, that means the heart of our garden, beautiful thoughts should be grown, beautiful ideas should be grown, pious thoughts should be grown, pious holy thoughts should be grown. So finally we conclude that man should always grow and develop good thoughts, pious thoughts, beautiful thoughts in his heart. Then this entire world will be happy, and then we can have a heaven on earth. Right. Now, my dear students, you understand the content of this poem very well. Now the assignment I am giving you is, as you feel homework, write about a beautiful garden, write about a beautiful garden you visited or heard. Take this assignment and try to fill it.